Welcome to Never Shut Up. It's your boy, Marcellus Wiley. Wondering when I'm ever going to be your man, Marcellus Wiley. I ain't going to never grow up, damn it. I love it, man. All love out there. We're going to have an amazing show. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good from the heart out, from the inside out. I'll get to that in a second. But I want to thank you guys for all the love, watching me on Brinks TV, watching me on YouTube, subscribing to the YouTube membership, Wiley's World. The numbers continue to go up. I am addicted to checking it and hitting the reset every time and watching the numbers continue to climb. As long as you guys are into it, I am here for it. So loving that, man. Let's just keep climbing that hill. Oh, man. So you know how we start every show. We started off with, what's up with that dude? Well, yesterday after the show, I went to rehab. Yeah, man, where the wounded walk in and hopefully jog out. Maybe run out if you really had a good session, right? And it's crazy because they didn't have all these rehab facilities when I was active. They had one or two, but now it seems like on every other corner you see these facilities. And how do you recognize them? It's easy. When you're walking by, you see all these damn jerseys hanging up with the signatures on it. That's all them broken down athletes that have been in there before. So I go in there now, and I'm never mistaken as a professional athlete anymore, largely because real active professional athletes go there. So it's pretty obvious to tell the old muscles and that little flab right there from them young tight muscles. But it's still good to just go in there and break bread with those guys and drop some wisdom on them every now and then, how the game used to be. And they just laugh at me like, oh, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Had a good time, though. My knee is feeling better. I'm doing a lot of exercises on that, trying to get that PCL strong. I got that Lamar Jackson knee right now. Got to get that thing fixed. Other than that, just been building out the team, man. Reshuffling the deck, as my bishop, Noel Jones, used to say. Slow to hire, quick to fire, right? So I'm going through that process of slowly evaluating everyone, who to hire. But trust me, cross your boy, don't do your work, not into this, your ass is quick to get fired. So that's how I always look at stuff. I take my time getting to know you, but as soon as you show me who you are, I'm going to believe it. And I hopefully think this is something positive and we're going to go together and ride this wave. But if it's something bad, trust me, I don't feel bad at all leaving you where you are. And other than that, let me tell you why I'm feeling so damn good, for real. This morning, I went to speak at my daughter's school in my daughter's class. And this is the toddlers group, y'all. Yeah, the 3-year-olds, the itty bitties. And the itty bitties were not trying to hear me talk, but they were for their age group. But you know, they just can't go 10 seconds without just blurting out something random. So the topic was, what do you do for a living? So before I even answered that question, I made sure the itty bitties knew who I was before I became what I was, right? So I just reminded them I used to be a little 3-year-old like them, in Los Angeles like them, who had dreams. And my dreams were twofold. It was to be a pro athlete, but also a school teacher. So I told them, hey, not only did I become a professional football player, but I also became the teacher in a different version because I'm a broadcaster. And I teach people about the ins and outs of the games and take them places that they are not privy to going. And then I hit them with the button. I said also, I'm the founder of Project Transition, which is a charity that focuses on giving resources to the people and the community about family, education, economic empowerment, sports, and experiences. Basically, all the ingredients that made your boy that dude and helped me achieve my goals. So it was funny to watch all of those words go over the heads of these 3-year-olds. But hopefully, while those words were flying over their heads, seeds were being dropped and planted in their brains. All right, y'all, let's get into a story right now. Man, talking about a tough situation. Dwayne Wade talks about why he moved from Florida to California. Now, the obvious reason would be just simply California's better than Florida to me. Man, I'm an LA native, boy. I've been around the world and I have not found a place better than LA, and LA's in California. But this is actually a more serious topic, even though I always bring levity. Dwayne Wade was asked about Florida politicians who count themselves amongst his fans and his fan base. Hey, you got to love Dwayne Wade in terms of basketball, but are also vocal proponents of LGBTQ policies that negatively affect families like the Wades. So he had a few quotes out there. Quote, That's another reason why I don't live in that state. Who's the father to a 15-year-old daughter, used to be a son, daughter, Zaya, who came out as transgender in 2020. Quote, a lot of people don't know that. I have to make decisions for my family, not just personal, individual decisions. I mean, obviously, the tax situation is great. Having Wade County is great. Yeah, a county named after him just in the spirit of the love they have for Dwayne Wade. He had to leave that. He had to abort that. Tough. But my family would not be accepted or feel comfortable there. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't live there. Now, he also talks about his parental philosophy, like how he's a parent and how he talks to his kids. And he talks about his father and how he planted those seeds in him and becoming the father he is, a mirror image of that. And quote, so I don't know any difference. And so, yes, I had to educate myself. And yes, I had to get a better understanding, talking about the transgender and the transition. And yes, I had to lose some friends along the process, but I never wavered on loving my kids and trying to find space to get the chance to understand them. All right. The Wades have now obviously been put as poster people for this cause. And that's not a cause that they raise their hand to obviously have to go out there and fight for. But they ask everyone around, and their call to action is, will people fight for all? That includes transgenders. Man, this is a tough one, right? Because they didn't obviously ask for this, but this is something that you have to, as a parent, fully support, except, and this is the tough part, this is a child. And the tough part about it being a child is, what do you do as a parent? Yes, column A, you support your kids. But B, column B, you have to lead your kids, right? I'm in a situation having 4 kids, obviously. Man, I don't even let my kids change the channel, let alone ever think about allowing them to change their gender. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my kids have, my daughter right now, she wants to be a butterfly. My son wants to be a ninja. Okay, support. Now, obviously, those are completely different levels of what you really want to do. But at the same time, I support them. I say, yeah. But if they ever came home and fully committed, like my daughter really got to the top of the stairs, Daddy, I'm a butterfly, we got a different conversation, just to bring some light to this. So the conversations, I wonder what they were in the Wade family household at that time. But imagine if you're in that position and your kid is adamant. And your kid is not like my kids, 3, 4, 7, right? And a 24-year-old. We got a 15-year-old. And at 15, you think you know it all, but obviously you don't, correct? And this is not an adult we're talking about. So this is an adult, the fullest of mature decisions you can make. Hey, if you weren't in my house, go ahead. You're not in my house, I can't tell my kids what to do. If once they're gone, I can lead, but I also have to support. I just wonder what happened in that situation because, couldn't happen on my watch. But I want everyone out there to respect Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union in this respect. Y'all got to let them be who they are. And we got to allow not only a world where they have safe space, but a world where we also respect each other. Because right now, we need to learn to disagree without disrespect. And I think that's what's happening. And I think that's why they were fearful or felt the anxiety of staying still in Florida and came to California. Learn to disagree. Don't disrespect. Coming up next on Never Shut Up, it's time to talk a little disrespect because J.J. Redick had to put Stephen A. Smith in his place, saying, man, I don't know if you know what you're talking about when you're talking about Kawhi Leonard in that way. Let's talk through those comments. Let's have some fun with that. Next on Never Shut Up on Breaks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley. Thankful for your viewership and your membership in the YouTube Wiley's world. Let's get to this story right here because no lie, I am becoming more and more of a fan of First Take when JJ Redick is there with Stephen A. Smith in particular. Like, I like First Take. Of all the shows, that's the one I watch the most. I hate when people say, oh, my favorite show is this. But then if you actually had like a viewometer in their house and their Nielsen ratings, they're watching something else. I'm just talking about what I actually consume the most of all the shows. It is First Take. I would have to say that. And when JJ Redick is on there, whoo, that feels like a brother from another. Because I'm like, he is talking it not only former player perspective, bringing the big brain, you know, that big Duke brain, but also he is pulling no punches. He is going straight at it. So JJ Redick had to reset the atmosphere, the tone, when they were talking about Kawhi Leonard. And it comes on the heels of when Stephen A. Smith said Kawhi Leonard was, quote, absolutely the worst superstar you can have on your team, right? So that's kind of already out there and it's in the air. And then now they're talking about Kawhi Leonard once again. And JJ Redick had enough. Listen to JJ.
There's a lot to unpack there. I mean this in the nicest way possible to both of you, but listening to each of you right now, it's very obvious that you've played zero high-level basketball, and you do not understand the requirements of doing that. And I do mean that in a nice way.
Man, I love when people in a gentle, kind of almost like a Mr. Miyagi, like you got that gentle violence to you. Like, you know, I mean that in the nicest way. Let me slice y'all up. Woo! He talking about it's obvious they never played at a high level. And that's what needed to be said. That is exactly what I would have said in that moment. Why? Because that's the divide right now. Like, we're literally getting our sports dope laced with BS. BS from people who didn't play it. So therefore, it's really BS because they're talking and there's this huge gap of knowledge. Now, I know Stephen A. knows his games and he knows ball. But at the same time, when you go to those extremes to say that he's the worst superstar of all time, or you undermine a guy because of injury, then you really don't know the rigors of the game. And that's what JJ is talking about. The BS are the biases, the simplicities, right? The sensationalism, just the bullshit, right? Like, just, dog. It's okay to be entertaining, but you also can break it down the way it is. Kawhi Leonard is trying to climb up basically a hill made of sand. It's difficult. This is a hill that obviously doesn't have the strongest foundation, but it's not because of his effort and it's not because of his skill. It's just that's the way it is for Kawhi Leonard. And you would think that there would be a little more nuanced conversation about that instead of just throwing Kawhi out with the bathwater, you know? Because Kawhi is that special a player when available. So I think the discussion what JJ Redick was showing, and he talked about Zion Williamson as well, guys who feel like they can't get to the next level and it's kind of out of their hands. You could say Zion and Kawhi, apples and oranges. I hear you. Zion looks like, and it sounds like he's a guy that they need to go motivate a little more to get after. But that's not Kawhi. Kawhi is fully motivated, trying to do it, but at the same time, it's just not working. So where do you come down on that? The fact that JJ Redick is up there saying, look, guys, you got to understand what we're dealing with. Like, the physical display of your greatness, which is athletics, is as fickle of a sport and as fickle as an occupation as you can get. Like, just think about how many times you walk around in your day without being a high-level athlete and you feel something, right? You step wrong, right? You get something caught in the door or whatever it may be. You just get up and say, oh, my back, my neck, and you haven't even went through the rigors yet. And I'm not making excuses for these guys. I'm just saying it's a part of the equation. You got to stand in line to be tall, got to stand in line to have the perfect body and the build, have to stand in line to be prepared for the moment, got to stand in line to be lucky. Like, people don't understand the luck line. You better get in that one too, because if it doesn't fall your way, there's a problem. I was watching the game last night, right? and I was watching Golden State go after it against Sacramento. And I saw Malik Monk fall down. And everybody saw it, right? When he fell down, you were like, is this a Paul George fall down, the leg gonna come out, you know, the bone just pop out his skin? And it felt that way, and it looked that way, and it scared Malik Monk like that. But it wasn't the situation. But that was because he was lucky. It wasn't because of nothing else. You can say, oh, no, he was ready. He was prepared. Oh, he did more lunges. He did more squats. The reality is sometimes you just need that luck. And you build your luck, but there is an unknown factor to it that even I wish I stood in that line and got more of that luck. So I just love the conversation. I love the banter between J.J. Redick and Stephen A, because we know Stephen A is the ultimate entertainer. He's the king of this sports media stuff. Give him his props, y'all. Don't do that. And at the same time, there is a former athlete who has carved his way and found a niche that is also going to be able to speak to that power, right? And it's not just the power of Stephen A and his voice, but it's the power of the people he's influenced and also doped up to think that if a guy is not healthy, the guy's not trying or the guy is just simply not good enough. Oh, I'm glad J.J. Redick is in the building to make sure we can balance those scales. Coming up next on Never Shut Up, oh, my man, Giannis, woo, got poetic up there after his team got knocked out in the first round. The number 1 seed loses to the 8th seed. Doesn't happen that often, but boy, you talk about a reaction. Let's listen to Giannis next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy, Marcellus Wiley. Thanking you for your viewership and your membership to Wiley's World on YouTube. Let's talk about Giannis. Woo! Gotta go to Cancun. The Clippers are already there. Now the Milwaukee Bucks are in the building because they got beat in the first round series as the number 1 seed and lost to Miami. Yes, Miami is better than Milwaukee. Not just the city, but the basketball teams right now. And that was crazy. So then you obviously going to see a dejected Giannis in the post-game press conference. But some reporter by the name of Eric, and I don't know his last name. I was trying to figure out who is Eric. Eric what? Y'all let me know in the comments. But Eric asked a question that I know in media one-on-one they tell you to ask. You know, it's just one of those questions, standard issue you got to ask. Even though you feel like an ass asking that question because it is a dumb question. And Giannis could take no more. Obviously already depleted from losing the series and going out there, even though he not balled well enough. Giannis gave this answer.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh, my God. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide a house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports.
Now, that response right there, woo! First of all, hit him with the Denzel training day clap, because that is exactly why I'm here, y'all. It's that whole entire process and the paradigm that he just portrayed about athletics and really life. Like, so many people get lost in the process of not knowing what to grab in terms of foundation for the next step, in terms of what is rock solid in terms of you trying to be successful. So many people get lost in that because they don't know what to value. They don't know what to choose. And then you see professional athletes, and when they finally unveil their true identity and personality, a lot of them say this same thing in common. Like they have learned to fail forward. And they have learned that even in success, you got to continue to grind. One thing that's built in to being an athlete is wins and losses. And from your losses, the professional athletes are the ones who went loss to loss without losing enthusiasm, right? The Wileyism of that. In terms of you knowing right now, today, I balled out. We lost. It's all right. I'm going to now figure out how I can keep balling out, translate that to my teammates, right? Okay, the team won, but I ain't do jack. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to figure out a way to find my lane in the success of the overall group, right? And professional athletes are running that arithmetic all the way from the day they picked up a ball, whether it was AAU or Pop Warner. And you don't even know how this world and those life experiences are working on your psyche. But then there are moments when you finally get to see that unveiled, like Giannis at that podium. Just listening to a guy call all of his efforts, even in the losing capacity, a failure, or at least questioning them as if they could be a failure. When we all know this is chipping in on the process that leads to that goal, to that win, to that success. And that's a life lesson. That ain't just games and sports. Giannis is talking about, no, dude, what about you in your life and everything? Do you get a promotion all the time? Do you always get properly rewarded for your work? No, but it's still a process. And I love the fact that he brought up Jordan, because I always bring that up with Tom Brady. And I'm like, yo, Tom Brady, what, played 22 years and he won 7? So we saying 15 years were a failure? I've actually said that on air before and just shake my head like, dog, what are y'all talking about? Even in losses, you still can find things that you are successful in or that you were actually winning at. And don't be scared to be the person that takes that and has a sense of pride about that. Because you know how it goes. And I fell victim to this at times when I played. The team loses, and everybody has to now demonstrate how defeated they are. You have to act as if, oh my God, we don't play again next week, and we can redeem ourselves, right? Don't be normal. Don't be even killed, even in a loss. You gotta be depressed. Now, a lot of times you really are, so you're not even acting. But there are times where you're like, yo, went out there and had 3 sacks. These fools over here want me to be acting like I'm crying. Like, we gonna play again next week. I need to get 3 sacks again next week, and then let's talk about it. So even if it's termed and deemed a loss, there's still some wins in that. There's still some building blocks to what you ultimately want to achieve. And for this team, achieve again. It's a room full of champions who are like, okay, they got us this year. That's all right. We'll go back to that drawing board, make an edit or two, make an addition, make a subtraction, and let's run it back. That's the key. That's the goal. Run it back, y'all. Run it back with the same enthusiasm, even though you've learned from that experience, that losing experience, but never call it a failing experience. So Eric, he had to go back to class, I guess, on that one because he got schooled, because I'm glad Giannis set the record straight, y'all. No matter what y'all going through and what y'all trying to do, if you are putting in that work, even if it doesn't look like you're going up, keep going with that process. One day it will end in success. Coming up next on Never Shut Up. Oh, it is full episode time. Yes, about to talk about the draft. It's here. It is draft day. Let me take you through a real life draft day from yours truly. We're going to talk about how it changed my world, how it changed those around me, and what came next. All of that next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Yeah. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley. Thanking you for your viewership and your membership to Wiley's World on YouTube. Let's get into this. It is here. Christmas Day for NFL players. Yes, it's draft day. And I know y'all gonna be glued to the tube like me. Every year I always say, I'm not gonna watch the draft. Oh man, whatever. But who can miss Goodell getting booed and then giving out all them hugs like he from the block? And then also just watching which fan base represents the loudest and then watching those guys' lives change right before your eyes. Pretty dope experience. So we're all going to be glued to it. At least the ratings always say that we're going to be glued to it. But what about the experience that the players are going through? That's what I want to talk about because it happened to me. And I don't remember the exact day, do I? It was in 1997, right? Late April, early May. And I remember the talk of the town was I was getting drafted. Now, why I say the talk of the town? Even though I live in LA, which is a city, ain't no damn town. Everybody was talking about me getting drafted. Why? Because everybody fell asleep or was in a coma because I went to Columbia and none of them saw me play on TV. None of them ever saw me getting talked about on ESPN the 2 times it happened at midnight. And none of them saw me in all the articles I was getting. They just didn't see it. They didn't catch it. I didn't go to a big school, so they thought it was a wrap. Then the next thing you know, I'm home a little early, still got school, and they're like, yo, Wiley getting drafted? And he throwing a big draft party at the Hollywood racetrack and casino now, which used to be the racetrack where SoFi is now. So it's crazy. Like before they built SoFi, I was up there putting in that work for my draft party. And that's also, no lie, here come a tear, where I played football from day one. Inglewood Park, Darby Park, right there, overlooking the racetrack, overlooking SoFi Stadium, which is presently there, which is where I had my draft party. Y'all following this? Crazy, huh? Woo! Gotta believe in higher powers. So here we go. It's draft day. CNN is filming me on my draft day, right? They were like, how did this guy go from Compton in the neighborhood to Columbia and actually get the best of both worlds and get drafted? So they're documenting this, and this is cool. So everybody wants to come over for real now. Not just because I'm getting drafted and that's fresh, but they're going to be on camera. Like, who doesn't want to be the first hug after you get drafted? Everybody always, inside, everybody like, who you going to hug first? You better hug his mama. Okay, after mama, daddy. Okay, after mama and daddy, I better be next. That's my best friend. Man, I used to let him borrow my Hot Wheels, right? Everybody in that line. And it was crazy because I had such a small apartment. The size of this studio was like my entire apartment. It was a 1 3/4 bedroom apartment. We had 1 bath. I swear, dog, before I got drafted, I never thought twice about the fact that we all 4 of us in our apartment shared the same bathroom. I never even thought my mom doesn't have a vanity mirror. My sister doesn't have a vanity mirror. We don't have dual sinks. I never even thought about it until I got drafted. Then you go on your tour and all of a sudden those are options. So I'm sitting there, it's draft day. CNN got their camera crews all set up. My grandma and them were kind of getting mad. I was like, because they were putting the cameras in great locations, places where people wanted to sit. We ain't got that much room. So they're like, yo, we got to put the camera here in the tripod. My grandma and them like, you got to move that damn camera, damn it. So let them get their angles. We'll figure it out. You can have my seat if you need one. So that was like 7 a.m. Pacific time. All right. So I'm sitting there and a couple of the invites, I ain't going to lie, I was a little suspect of. One of them was my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, the same one that dumped me a year earlier. But now all of a sudden, she magically was in like with me again, or maybe in love. So she was there, uncles, cousins, mama, daddy, of course, sister, my boys, everything. We just piled up from 8 in the morning to 9 to 10 to 11. Remember, I got drafted 52. At the time, they were talking 15 on. So like 9:30, you start hearing my name. You want to know when they really called me and I heard my name? When I got on the phone with the general manager, John Butler, rest in peace. When I finally talked to Marv Levy, I swear it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Woo! 7 in the morning, sitting there propped up on camera doing interviews. 8 o'clock draft start, whatever, all the way to 4 o'clock. I had to wait. How many times can you go back and forth to the kitchen to get the celery sticks? You know, how many times I'm just gonna pound a big bowl of nachos and Doritos? How many? I just kept trying to play it off. Anxiety, anxiety. Somebody call me. Don't give a damn who. I just want to play in the league, right? And the higher you get picked, the earlier that call, the more money as well. So I was like, yo, just call me, dog. I got y'all. And finally, I got that call. And I got that call, and it was John Butler to Marv Levy. Hey, Marcellus, want to be a Buffalo Bill? Lost my mind. And then everyone else lost their mind. Because immediately, I am now, seriously, and it's a weird way to measure it, but you can just tell how people treat you. You're a star, even in your own family. My family all of a sudden, like they wouldn't have pauses between our conversations like before. You know, they asked me a question, Teddy Bear, what shoe you like, Nike or Adidas? I was like, Nike one. Okay. They wouldn't ask me another question before I got drafted, it felt like for 10 minutes. But when you get drafted, oh, you like the Nike one? Which one? The green one? Oh, yeah, I like that green one too. How long you been liking the green one? I've been liking it since you just asked me. What you mean? And then it just, everyone was reinforcing how they felt about you and how they felt about your relationship and how proud they were. So it was weird because most of it was just pride, excessive pride at times. Then there was also a layer that all of a sudden you started to look at trust a little different. Like, what's the motivation? Because all of a sudden someone's like, yeah, you can hear the violins in the conversation. Yeah, you know, can I get a couple? You got it, you got it, you got it. You start seeing this, you got it. And you're like, I ain't got it. What do you mean I got it? They just called my name. You think they sent a check? Did you see a pony just show up with sacks of gold on it? Like, no, I don't have any more money than I did yesterday. But now the world thinks of you differently than they did yesterday. The story that illustrates this the best is when I went to the mall. And I went to the mall and I had forgotten something for my draft party at the racetrack and casino, right? And I remember going there and I was just there buying my outfit. And he didn't say nothing to me but good luck, Marcellus. Go ahead and get drafted. Proud of you. This time, I forgot my headband. And I'm in there and I'm getting the headband. The dude wouldn't even ring it up. He was like, oh my God. And he was telling everybody in the store, told his wife to come from the back, take a picture, take a picture. And all of a sudden you become one of those black and whites up there next to Smokey Robinson and Magic Johnson or something, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's how it is. And the dude just completely acted different, a 180 from the day before. And I was just in here, same dude, me, who used to shop here all the time. So I thought that was amazing. But then you all of a sudden you get the itinerary and life just becomes a big conveyor belt. Like you literally just get on it. Okay, I am now flying to Buffalo. I am doing press conferences. Okay, now we're going to have a mini camp. Now I'm in training camp. And that was the most beautiful thing about it. You imagine being 21 years old, like most people, when you graduate, what's next? Where are you going? What city, etc.? What you going to do? What job is waiting for you? And for me, all of that was decided for me. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to stress over it. Even though I had that anxiety of thinking through it, they were making the decisions, right? I didn't have to do that. They did it. And it was a blessing. And then you're going to live in this area. These are the choices. And then I had that tour of the townhouse that I bought, right? That had dual sinks. Oh, the townhouse that I bought that did have a vanity mirror. I was like, nah, I'm single. I don't need that. But I do need the extra bedroom. No. So it was just hilarious to watch. And then to actually go into the store, and it's weird because you go into the store now without a budget in that store, right? I'm going to Circuit City. I don't have a budget anymore at Circuit City. And that actually gave me so much freedom that I tightened the belt. It was weird. Because I was like, I ain't buying all this stuff in here even though I can't afford it all now. And it's like, I'm going to get this. I need a TV. Okay, I need that. I need a stereo and stuff. But I was like, don't go crazy. And then I went crazy because I was young with money. But I tried my damnedest to stay with it. The other thing that was crazy were the women. Let's be real. Like, wherever she was before on you. Oh, Marcellus is, he all right. All right turns to good. Good turns to great. Great turns to, oh my God, that's my husband as soon as I meet him. Like everybody amped up. And then the crazier part than that were the people who wouldn't talk to you. The girls who didn't want to holler because you were an athlete. And there were a few. Like, nope, force filled up. Mama and daddy must have told him, hell no, no pro athletes, because he is just in and out like the burger, in and out. And I was like, dog, you don't even want to holler at me? No, you're an athlete. I heard you got drafted to Buffalo. I was like, I'm good. You good, that's it? And then literally would talk to anybody else but you. That happened too. But it was an amazing experience getting drafted, man. But the craziest thing is how you get flipped on your head because everything else flips in front of you, right? Good, bad, and ugly. It all changes no matter what. And the crazy part about it is you also become the head of your household in some weird dynamics. Why? Because you can support the family. You can support the household. That was interesting. So next time you see these guys and they walking up to Goodell with that big hug and they're screaming and yelling and crying because all of these things are happening right before their very eyes. Their whole world has changed. Their whole world is flipped and they're just trying to get their balance. An amazing night is going to happen today watching these guys get drafted. Proud of all of you guys, no matter where you get drafted, because it's now time to hit that reset and reset your goals and get on that grind. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we end every episode on Never Shut Up with a Wileyism. Yeah. I didn't like that either. Okay, let's get into it. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Secret to getting ahead is getting started. Woo! No paralysis by analysis, right? Damn it, get out your head and get your feet moving, right? I tell my kids all the time, I was like, stop talking, start walking, because they'll sit there, Dad, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I was like, y'all have not done a damn thing but make the list longer of the stuff you need to do. Go do it. Get it started, all right? Like Hammer, get it started. Get it started. That's it. I mean, and then all of a sudden you get the law of reciprocation going for you. Like what you give is what you're going to get. You get the law of attraction going for you. Oh, you want that? Well, let me bring some resources to help you go get that. And you got to be mindful because all of this is working for you. But you got to believe it is, and you got to also grab it while it's in front of you, right? Because opportunity, they don't come along that often. Like opportunities, they're not every single moment. They're not always every single day. But when the opportunity strikes, you better go and get it. So make sure y'all just don't sit there on your calculator or in your notebook always talking about what you're going to do. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. It's getting started. No more hammer talk. All right, y'all. That'll do it for today's episode of Never Shut Up. Love you guys. Appreciate all the love, and let's keep this going. You know I'll be in them comments with my nosy ass checking y'all out. Let's do it. Appreciate you on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Peace.